All right, public safety meeting. The police are here with us, but they didn't have anything on the agenda originally, so I think, do you have anything you wanted to lead off with or start?
No,
Okay.
we just got one of the rescue drones in, so we're figuring that out.
Right.
And hopefully get that deployed soon.
So 4th of July, let's.
Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to brief everybody a little bit about this 4th of July. We're expecting large crowds. It's on a Friday. Obviously, if you pay attention to the news, things are kind of getting rowdy across the country. And we are short-staffed, to be honest, but we're doing what we can with what we have. We've been very successful in years past with a lot of the prevention that we've been doing. So we do, on July 2nd, we have 5 duty crew plus 2 brush rigs that will be staffed by 2 personnel apiece. The duty crew obviously will be responding from the station, but the brush rigs will be out on the beach on July 2nd, already educating people on staying away from the dune grass. July 3rd, we have 5 duty crew personnel plus 2 brush rigs as well. And on the 2nd and 3rd, we have the dozer on standby. So we have a dozer from Roglands that will be at the fire station. If we have to implement the dozer operator's in town. He'll respond to the station and we'll deploy the dozer and a spotter. And then on July 4th, it's basically all hands on deck. We'll have 7 station personnel for 24 hours. And then everybody else will be out on the beach. Right now, I'm thinking it's going to be up to 15, maybe more. We're still waiting for outside applications to come in. We do put in for outside firefighters and resources that are available. If they're interested, we pay them at the state rate like they would be if they were mobilized on a wildland fire. Unfortunately, there are working wildland fires right now in our state. And some of these resources have been mobilized to those. But I think right now we just have a handful of outside help. I know that we've coordinated closely with the police department, public works. Incident command will be located on the 4th floor of the Shiloh off the deck. We will always have eyes on the dunes. We do have drone capability with our fire inspector. If he needs to get the drone up to track the fire immediately, we'll do that. And then one of the things that's a little bit different this year is we're not staging structural engines on the approaches. The structural engines will be responding from the fire station itself. If we do get an incident where we have to take what's called a defensive tactic and the fire's getting away from us and it's getting in the secondary dunes, those structural engines will start to move to whatever adjacent street is closest to that fire to start to set up hose lines and some defensive tactics. So I think we've got all the public information. I know the city's done a great job. We've already hit up the radio. I'll be on the Johnny Manson show next week talking about the beach and the 4th of July. We touched on it on KOSW, and they've been a big part of getting the word out. I know there's some change. We are running some changes in traffic. We're going to kind of reroute people when they come on Chance to go back up the boulevard and then back down to avoid a lot of the congestion that we saw last year. We'll also be using the radio to kind of get the message out too that there's other beach access. One of the things we found is that when people come into Ocean Shores, they think the only beach access is the Chance approach. We will have eco blocks or barriers on both sides of the Chance approach for a couple reasons. Number one, it forces you to go to the beach or off the beach. And number 2, it also gives pedestrians a place to walk on the side of the approach. And at night, that becomes a little bit tumultuous with the alcohol consumption and all the distractions. It becomes a safety factor for those pedestrians. A vert will be set up on the beach. They're going to help us out with first aid tents. They're going to have one on the Damon approach and one on the Chance approach. And I believe possibly one down south. I'll have to confirm that. And obviously we're going to have dumpsters on Damon, on Chance, and then down south as well. We'll probably respond to 4 to 6 dumpster fires on the 4th of July. That's to be expected. The ideology on that is these are contained fires. They're in a metal box and, you know, it's better than big piles of trash burning. But we will be paying close attention to that. We used to have North Division and South Division is what we called it. Now we're just gonna have basically an all beach kind of command structure. And these wildland rigs will be going up and down all night long, educating people and doing prevention. I did meet with Ace Hardware today and Steve Buck. He will be placing flags on the High Dune Trail. The flags will be color coded, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and we just use those for locators. Basically at dusk and during the daytime, when if we have an injury or something on the High Dune Trail, we can get on the radio and go, hey, they're 50 feet from the red flag or the purple flag, or people that are coming to the High Dune Trail to watch the fireworks with their families. They can tell their families, hey, we're sitting by the orange flag. But those have become very, very handy, especially looking out from the command post of the Shiloh. I can kind of give better directions for people. We do have people every year that get lost in the dunes. So that's another thing that helps is, hey, I think they're by the green flag or whatnot. So that's been great. Trash bags will be handed out by Surfrider and Avert. They're working together to try to coordinate giving out those trash bags, which is huge. We all know what our beaches have the potential to look like after the 4th of July and during the 4th of July holiday. And it's atrocious, but that has made a huge difference when they developed that plan of handing out those trash bags. So I think we're pretty much buttoned up for the 4th. Would you agree?
Yeah, we're ready as we can be.
Yeah, so if it did go south on us, we would just mobilize the county-wide wildland team. I would just call Chief Miller and obviously DNR very quickly. Just so happens that one of the main guys in DNR lives in our city, Mark Kincaid, and he's a really good guy and he's on point for the 4th of July. He knows what we're up against, but I really feel like the prevention part of this is going to help us avoid potentially serious threats. And if everybody, all the locals, and when your family and friends come out, you can let them know what to do and what not to do. And at the end of the day, just stay 100 feet away from that dune grass and don't have any huge fires, no burning couches or cars. Keep your fire pit no bigger than 3 feet and burn only naturally cured firewood, no burning driftwood or pallets, things like that. So I believe we have a couple fireworks stands that have put in permits through the fire department. That's totally normal. I've already met with what's his name from 5 Star? The representative from 5 Star who sponsors one every year, and we're gonna.
Damon,
Yeah, sorry. Thank you, Lisa.
you're welcome.
We're gonna be putting these flyers out. You're gonna see these everywhere. It just goes over when and where you can light fireworks, the rules and regs on beach fires, water safety, and driving on the beach. And we kind of worked together on this a few years ago. It's kind of a unified message between the police and fire department. So yeah, it's business per usual. But I wanted to jump on the staffing issue. We are testing tomorrow and Thursday for firefighter EMTs, and we're having a really hard time finding firefighter paramedics. We're most likely going to be offering 6 people positions, but we do have 22 applicants. So we have a really good pool of applicants coming in. This will be a 2-day process. And we have Mr. Dooley and Richard Wills coming to help us out with that, civil service. And so we'll wait and see what happens with that and then see how that pans out. We can get some job offers to people and hopefully they'll stick around. That's the whole goal. So that's all I got.
I have 4 questions.
4 questions. Okay.
But I can only remember 3.
Okay.
So the first question is, and maybe you said it and you were just talking really fast, I didn't catch it. Is Shiloh Star Command Center?
Yes,
So is
I'll
that-
be on the 4th floor of the Shiloh.
Okay, Quinault, they're not doing anything, they're not having a show, do they anticipate people going up there and lighting fireworks off that far north?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so
That goes all the way up to. the river.
Yes.
So how,
Yes.
who is monitoring that? Is that?
Fire
State Park?
District 7.
Fire District
State
7.
Parks and Fire District 7 will be monitoring everything north of Damon.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that,
Big area.
Yeah.
So,
And, I will say traditionally that area gets a bit rowdy.
that's kind of my concern, and I know that they're not doing anything. so-
Yeah, yeah. And everybody collectively, I've already met with State Parks. We had a meeting at the fire department. I met with Grace Harbor County Sheriff, State Patrol's the same way. Everybody is short-staffed. That's just across the board. I mean, I'm sure you can relate.
Yep.
So we're gonna do the best with what we have and we'll make it work. We'll make it work. Yeah.
Am I allowed to ask questions?
We can do it in this meeting. That's fine.
Scott, you said you had 4 questions, but I only heard 2. Did I miss
Well,
one?
the next one was gonna concern state parks. So that
Okay,
bled into one, and the one was actually an important question, and it was on the tip of my tongue, and I can't remember it. But if someone else wants to ask a question, my brain might come back to my brain in the meantime.
do you need anything from council, Chief Ritter?
I mean, at the end of the day, I think it would be beneficial for the city to completely look at what it costs the city for the 4th of July as a whole. And look at this, not just coming out of a fire department budget, but this affects public works. There's a lot of entities that this 4th of July brings during this week. And there's, I think looking back on us, it's hit us for about $30,000 to $35,000 easily. So I just think collectively, we might want to look at this as a city and go, hey, maybe we can just put this chunk of money aside as a city. This is the 4th of July holiday pot and we split it up or something like that. I don't know. It's just a suggestion.
Okay, thank you.
I did remember my question now. No burn ban yet. What happens if a burn ban goes into effect on the 3rd or the 4th? We're gonna have fires out there.
If a burn ban goes to effect on the 3rd and the 4th, there'll be signs that will be put up on the approaches that will say no beach fires, and our brush rigs will be out there telling people no fires.
Okay, because that's just gonna be.
It's gonna be very difficult, time consuming, and people aren't gonna like it.
It's a pick your battle.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah.
for law enforcement.
Yeah.
Because we'll get hundreds of calls and
Yeah.
Yeah,
unfortunately that falls.
Yeah,
unfortunately, I can see it happening, so we haven't had rain, so.
we are expecting rain this weekend,
Good,
so, yeah.
all right, good to know. And high tide 8:02?
High tide's about 8 o'clock, yep, somewhere around between 8 and 9, and it's good, it's a perfect perfect time for high tide. Yep,
That's the first thing you can see it come in, just catch people by surprise.
yeah.
People are not yet that intoxicated.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
The entire weekend is, the max high tide is gonna be 8 for the entire weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no major high tide that we've had to compete with in the past.
That's a
whether it's
blessing.
10 or 11 or 12 where we've had in the past, but the entire weekend is gonna be maximum 8.2,
Yeah.
I think, so.
Wind's about 15 miles an hour, so
So are you guys fully staffed?
Well, every single officer is gonna be on for the entire weekend, rotating. I mean, I'm gonna have Marine Patrol guys on the lake, running the boat. And we'll have every officer working varying patrols throughout the city, so we'll be full 100%.
Well, so how many on?
4 or 5 usually. So I mean, yeah, as much as we can for guys coming on, and we'll have, like I said, everybody's gonna have a shift at some point during that weekend where we'll have 3 or 4 of us on, and county is gonna help a little bit. State Parks promised 4 out of area rangers. Not sure what their law enforcement ability is because they're different levels of ranger, but I foresee them being north of Damon more than anything. So it'll be our beach to police a majority of it, so.
Are the citizens pretty good about not having fireworks anywhere but at the beach?
No. No, we post it and we let them know that, within city limits, you cannot, it's only the beaches.
Yeah.
And it's very spelled out that every year we have probably 100+ different calls for service for
You can hear it
fireworks in town.
On
And
the
we
street.
can run from one end to the other.
on the street. I hear them.
yeah.
Yep.
My place on Dalton, there was nothing. Out of curiosity, is Avert and CERT the same thing?
Yes.
Yes, they changed their name.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Wasn't sure.
Yeah.
It was originally the
Out
13.
of curiosity, are you running the same with the incident command system?
Oh, yep, 100%. Yeah, we do all the NIMS documents, the IAPs, the comms plan, yes,
Okay.
for sure.
Any other questions, Allison, Lisa?
Nope, I don't have any. I'll be out there at the Avert tent working both days and nights.
All right.
See you all out there. Have a safe 4th of July.
Yeah. Keep your
Alrighty.
fingers, people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thanks, Nicole.
Bye.
Thanks, gentlemen.